Started soon. Does that sound okay?
Sounds great.
Okay, John, let me know when you've started the recording and I will start us off.
We are started.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning to everyone that is on this call. My name is Roxana Gamusio. I am the Executive Director with the Private Probation Services Council. And today is Friday, November the 4th. We are starting our regularly scheduled meeting at 10 a.m. promptly. And so I will proceed. We've got the first item of business will be to take care of roll call vote to make sure that we have quorum to proceed. So as I call your names on here going forward, if you could please unmute yourself and make sure just to answer, letting me know that you are there or in agreement with whatever vote might be taking place. First, we have Judge Brody Kane.
Present.
Thank you, sir. Judge Teresa Nelson.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Judge. Judge Joel Perry.
I'm here.
Thank you. Judge Jason Hudson.
I'm here as well.
Thank you. And that is quorum for our board, which is a total of 7. We have Michael Wright and Stacy Kelly, both of our officers. One is from a private probation company, the other is within the state, and they would not be able to join us today, but we have quorum and are able to proceed. I would like to go ahead and read on the record that notice was given of this meeting for the November 4th on the Private Probation Services Council. That notice was posted on August 12th of 2021. Additionally to that, the current agenda will be following was posted on Friday, the 28th. The next item would be to do a statement of necessity, given that this program is allowed to participate virtually. I will turn it over to our attorney for the program, Michael Underhill.
Good morning. This is the statement of necessity to be read onto the record. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Tennessee Private Probation Services Council. Because there is not a physical quorum present, a statement of necessity will be read into the record and filed with the Secretary of State's office. Pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotated Section 8-44-108, if a physical quorum is not present at the location of the meeting of a governing body, in order for a quorum of members to participate by electronic means, the governing body must make a determination that a necessity exists. Furthermore, Tennessee Code Annotated Section 8-44-108 sub A3 defines necessity as a matter to be considered by the governing body at that meeting requiring timely action by the body. The physical presence of a quorum of the members is not practical in the period of time of required action, and that participation of a quorum of the members by electronic or other means of communication is necessary. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the Tennessee Private Probation Services Council, and the necessity of this meeting with members attending by teleconference means is to conduct timely matters of the council that must be discussed and decided prior to the next meeting. All votes will be conducted by roll call. This completes the statement of necessity.
Thank you, Mike. Judges, we would need, if in agreement, we would need a motion and a second in order to accept that statement.
Judge Kane, I so move.
Thank you, Judge Kane. Do we have a second?
Yes, I'll second it. Jason.
And Judge Hudson, thank you very much. We have a motion to accept by Judge Kane, a second by Judge Hudson by roll call vote. Judge Kane?
Aye.
Judge Nelson?
Aye.
Judge Perry?
Aye.
And Judge Hudson?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Before we proceed, it is my privilege to take this moment just to introduce 3 of our newly appointed judges to the Private Probation Services Council. Meeting minutes, the agenda, those kind of documents were sent in advance to help everyone prepare for the meeting. And so I know that you all have the records, but I would love to turn it over to each of you. And just to introduce yourself, anything you want to say on the record, if we could start by going and calling Judge Teresa Nelson and just welcome to the council, ma'am.
Thank you very much. My video isn't working today. So I'm glad we're not using video, but I am in Sullivan County, Tennessee, which is the far end, eastern end of the county. I took over for Judge Klein Lauterbach in the Bristol courthouse. There's 4 general sessions judges in Sullivan County, and I'm one of the 4. I was appointed last year and then elected this year, so I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much. And we are so happy to have you here. I want to say thank you to all 4 of our judges, of course, and Judge Kane is doing this another 4 years. So thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate it. Judge Joel Perry, could we go ahead and hear something from you, sir, and welcome you?
Well, thank you. Yeah, my name is Joel Perry. I've just started my 2nd term as General Sessions Judge here in Robertson County. Robertson County is the county just north of Nashville between Davidson County and the Kentucky line. I was a prosecutor in this same court for 18 years before becoming judge, and I've been practicing law now 37 years, either as a lawyer or as a judge. So, and I'm happy to be part of the board.
Thank you so much, Judge. Really, we welcome you and thrilled to have you. And last but not least, Judge Jason Hudson, let me turn it over to you and welcome welcome for participating on the council.
Well, thank you. Yes, my name is Jason Hudson. I am the General Sessions Judge in Dyer County, Tennessee, all the way in the northwest corner of the state, go across the Mississippi River and you're in Missouri. It's just kind of where we are. I guess I'm in my 2nd or starting my 3rd term, I guess, since we just had the election as General Sessions Judge. Been practicing for 22 years and looking forward to being on the council with everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Well, thank you so much. And again, we are thrilled to be able to conduct the meeting, have quorum today. So we will proceed. The first item that we will go through is accepting the agenda as it's been posted on the website and as it was emailed. If there are any changes that any of our judges would like to make, this would be a good time. Otherwise, of course, at the end, we can address new business as well. But if there are no changes, I would need a motion and a second to accept the agenda as it's been presented.
Joel Perry, make a motion.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you. We have a motion by Judge Perry and a second by Judge Kane to accept the motion as it's been presented by roll call vote. Judge Brody Kane,
Aye.
Judge Teresa Nelson,
Aye.
Judge Joel Perry,
Aye.
and Judge Jason Hudson.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we also emailed everyone the May minutes. I know 3 of you have not had a chance and didn't participate in the minutes. So Judge Kane is our expert on what took place. Hopefully the minutes do a good recap of what was presented. Separately from that, once the meeting ends, we actually post to the website the recording of every one of our meetings for people to be following, and that is also kept as part of the record. If there were no changes found from the May minutes, I would need a motion and a second to accept those as they were presented.
Judge Kane, I would make that motion.
Thank you, Judge. Do we have a second?
Joel Perry, second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Judge Kane to accept the minutes as they've been presented, a second by Judge Perry. By roll call vote, Judge Brody Kane,
Aye.
Judge Teresa Nelson,
Aye.
Judge Joel Perry,
Aye.
and Judge Jason Hudson.
Aye.
Thank you so much. The next item on our agenda is going over the director's report. This was emailed as part of the presentation, but in the event that you used the original documents that were sent, these are really numbers, not always fun to go through. We have gone ahead and closed fiscal year 2021-22. And so if for some reason you don't have this document, I'm happy to email it to everyone again. We have the final numbers that compare actually last 4 years. And for our new judges on the council, this may not be something that you're aware of, but the program has continually been losing some money. By that, you probably are aware that the number of private probation companies we have has gone down significantly. I believe we had 33 or 34 when I started and took over this in 2016. We're down to 24 companies. Now, the income for the program doesn't really come from the $100 renewal fee, as you can imagine. It comes from the clients on probation through the quarterly provider reports that are submitted. 75 cents per client is paid each quarter to the council, and that's really how the program sustains itself. We have seen a reduction in clients, a pretty strong reduction for the last 4 years or so. And so a fiscal year 2020, 2021, and then this one, 2022, all ended the program with a negative balance, with a deficit. We have reserves at $591,106. So our reserves are pretty strong. And of course, historically, I can add some of this. We used to charge $1 per client per quarter. That reduction needed to be made. It was a great thing, but between not having as many clients on private probation for misdemeanor cases and that reduction, it had this impact. Because we have not been self-sufficient for the last 2 years. In May, and maybe even prior to the May meeting, Judge Kane is hearing this for probably the second or third time. I did go before the legislative body to explain that, we were not self-sufficient, and they understood this process due to the reduction of clients. There was no change recommended, so we keep a close eye on it. This program is one of centralized programs that my team and I oversee. So that has a significant savings in the cost backs, the payroll related to it. And so we can see our expenses be pretty low thanks to those shared income, share fees, if you will. But this particular year we closed with a deficit of $24,489. When you think about it, that's not a huge amount. We are actually short every bit of that 24,000 due to the reduction in clients. And so if you have any questions, I welcome those conversations, especially if this is, completely new to you, and I'm happy to send these reports and anything else you might need. I will make sure to give you a chance to unmute yourself, and we can have these conversations.
All right, this is Joel Perry. The reduction in clients, is that due to companies going out of business or counties deciding to take back probation as a county service, or do we know
Excellent.
why those are reducing?
Yes, sir. That's an excellent question. And both are true. So the number of companies have reduced. Again, we had between 32 to 34, probably when I took it over, we're down to 24. So that is a big reduction. Part of the reduction in those companies that decide to go out of business, had to do with, maybe even findings. There were federal lawsuits. You're all aware that there's, not every company did things perfectly. And so with that, not only did a few companies close, but a lot of the jurisdictions took over their own clients. So Judge Perry, your two questions absolutely cover the explanation. And we even had a judge that was on our council that did the same thing. Once her jurisdiction could use their own officers to take on these clients, she absolutely did that. And so many courts have been able to do that. But again, the 24 companies we have active right now, from what we can tell, the vast majority are doing a really good job. They are following up with the clients. They're submitting reports timely. To Judge Kane's credit and the judges that were on the council before, we have made it a priority for these companies to be in compliance. And we can open a complaint if they fail to renew on time, fail to provide the continuing education requirements, if they fail to register an officer, and if they fail to turn in the reports. And so that has really helped. We haven't needed to open these complaints, but it's been something that is out there. Therefore, we make it all about them being compliant and really doing a good job giving the information that is needed by statute, which just, isn't a lot of things, but those requirements need to be there. So I hope that answered your question. The vast majority of this impact is because those clients are being seen by the local jurisdictions that can afford to see them, right?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. That's my question. And if I could ask one more, I don't mean
Absolutely.
to be hogging the time, but there's some these quasi-governmental organizations like ETHRA and Mid-Cumberland. They also operate probation companies, I guess, for lack of a better word, but they're not regulated by this council. Is that correct?
That is correct. At this time, they are not. And so, and Judge Kane can possibly give us some more history. I think when in prior years, some legislation was filed to maybe touch on those companies or other services provided by some companies that the council maybe should have supervised. But at this time, that's not the case. Basically, the judges and the jurisdictions that need these private companies would be, appointing or assigning their clients, if you will, to these private companies. And right now, I can see from the areas that they're located in that they are those jurisdictions that would be more distressed, right? Maybe unable to have the staffing to handle the misdemeanor cases.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions? I know finances are not always fun things to discuss. I will make sure to send that 4-year comptroller's report that we received, and it's really just the closing numbers, not the comptrollers necessarily, but it's the final closing numbers. So if anyone does have a question, feel free to reach me. I always welcome those. I am always available to you. The next item that we do need to take care of is the setting of the dates for 2023. That information was sent to everyone, and I'm happy to read these on the record. We're being consistent with what we've done in the past, and now that most of our judges are new, if there's a reason to change the meeting, I am more than happy to go through that and look at those changes. This program has always had meetings on Friday, having worked in the courts myself for many years. Those tend to be the slower days, or at least when docket isn't as hectic or motions being heard. So we've stuck to the meetings being on Friday for that reason. 10 a.m. has historically been a really good time, and I'm very fortunate, and we all are on this council, that these meetings have been approved to be virtual. All of my other programs have to meet in person, and so I think it's a great use of your times to be able to be in your jurisdictions and take care of everything you have going on, and we can do this virtually, at least for now. So I don't see that planning in the changing in the near future either. Therefore, the 2023 meetings, at least right now, are scheduled to be done virtually like we're doing this one. Our next meeting would be February 3rd. The one after that, May 5th. The next one is August 11th, and then November 3rd is the last meeting for 2023. Now, if there is no business to take care of, we can and have in the past canceled those meetings. So you'd hear from me letting you know you can free up a particular date because we don't have complaints to address and nothing else has come up. At this time, any complaints that come against one of our programs, unlicensed activity, or the officers, anything we have jurisdiction over, Mr. Underhill will present, and it does have to go before you. You make that ultimate decision. So that would be business that we'll always have. But if a meeting can be canceled, trust me when I say I will reach you and let you know to free up that date. So if you have a problem with any of those dates, let me know, or meeting on Fridays. But otherwise, I would need a motion in a second to accept those dates and then populate them onto our website.
I would like to be heard on this.
Yes.
Friday is by far my hardest date. I mean, I can make it work if that's what everybody wants, but I do a drug court at 8 o'clock, and then I'm usually going to one of my outlying counties to begin court at 10 on Friday. I would prefer any other date but Friday, but if that works for the other judges, I've made it work the last 4 years, but I just want to put that out there.
This is Judge Nelson, and I'm of course new, and I'm agreeable. I will say Friday is the only day I don't have obligations. But if we could always change the time potentially if we do another date, and I can work around our court schedule if we need to.
This is Jason Hudson. I'm kind of like Judge Nelson. Fridays is usually the day I don't have a regularly scheduled docket, just special settings. But if we need to work around it, I'm not opposed to it, or change the time, that's fine too. But Fridays would be the best day for me, but I understand Judge Kane's position is for sure.
Judge Kane, this is Joel Perry, and I'm sorry to tell you, I'm in the same boat as the other general sessions judges. I generally have a full docket Monday through Thursday. Alternating Thursday afternoons is my recovery court days, but Fridays are generally the day that I have open to do administrative matters or to hear juvenile appeals or other things. But like everybody else, I could make it work if need be on some other day with sufficient notice.
Well, I'll withdraw it. I don't want to, the problems of one certainly don't measure the problems of three. So we can leave it like it is. I just want to make that request, but I've got no problem. I've been able to make it work. So let's just leave it then.
Thank you, Judge Kane. I completely understand things coming up also. So hopefully the fact that we can do this virtually helps. And I know for the two officers, Fridays seem to be a better day for them as well. So if we're good with leaving it as is, I would need a motion to accept those dates and then a second. And I will make sure that everybody has those dates again, and I'll email those back out.
Joel Perry, I'll make a motion.
And I'll second it, Jason Hudson.
Thank you. We have a motion by Judge Perry and a second by Judge Hudson to accept the 2023 dates as presented by roll call vote. Judge Brody Kane.
Aye.
Judge Teresa Nelson.
Aye.
Judge Joel Perry.
Aye.
Judge Jason Hudson.
Aye.
Thank you. That takes care of our 2023 dates. And before I turn it over to Mike for the legal report, the last item of business that we have is the election of officers. Statutorily, this program needs to have a chair and a vice chair. And so I turn it over to our four judges that are participating. It doesn't necessarily, as I say, it shouldn't require a lot more than what you're already doing. We did run into a situation where Judge Logan, as the chair, did have to come into Nashville for a couple of different meetings. That is rare and hopefully not the case, but as you all know, sometimes taking on those roles could require some meetings. But I will turn it over to see if we have a motion for a chair and a vice chair and then vote on those.
This is Joel Perry. I would nominate Judge Kane, since he's the one with the experience on this, as chairman.
Thank you, Sarah. Would you have a recommendation for vice chair, or I can wait if anyone else does?
Judge Nelson. If you don't speak up,
You got it if you don't.
I always learned in Sunday school class, if you miss the Sunday that they have the election, you get elected president of the Sunday school class. So
That mute button just didn't work fast enough.
Oh my goodness. Okay. If there are no other nominations or conversations, I note a nomination for chair to be Judge Brody Kane, and for vice chair, we have a nomination for Judge, thanks to the button not working fast enough, Judge Teresa Nelson. I will do roll call vote to see if these are all in agreement, and then we can proceed. Again, the chair would be Judge Kane and the vice chair, Judge Nelson, by roll call vote. Judge Kane?
Grudgingly, aye.
You agree. Thank you, sir. Judge Teresa Nelson?
Same. Yes, aye.
Thank you, ma'am. Judge Joel Perry?
enthusiastically,
I love it. Thank you. And Judge Jason Hudson?
Here, here. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. Our website will be updated to include this information, and I do promise to try to keep any of these additional requirements to a minimum. Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mr. Underhill, to go over the legal report, and I'll mute myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxana. Good morning, Council. And there is one matter for the Council's consideration and vote today. That is the matter of PPSC-2022-023-551. And I will go ahead and read the summary and the recommendation into the record prior to the Council's vote. The summary is as follows. This June 9th, 2022 administrative complaint states the respondent failed to timely file their May 20th, 2022 quarterly report in violation of Tennessee Compilation of Rules and Regs, Section 1177-01-.08, Sub 1B. The fee was postmarked on June the 7th of 2022. Pursuant to Tennessee Compilation of Rules and Regs, Section 1177-02-.07, this would incur a monetary civil penalty in the Category 2 range of $300 up to $699. The respondent has stated and acknowledges the inadvertence and further provides in mitigation that they have been in business for 27 years with no prior penalties incurred, and it will not happen again. It is also noted the respondent does not have a previous disciplinary history. So it is my recommendation as disciplinary counsel that a letter of warning be issued to the respondent and placed in the respondent's disciplinary file.
Well, if I want to say, I think this is an appropriate remedy. I'd hate to see if I've paid a late bill in the last 27 years. So I don't know. I think this is a good call here. Just I'd like to put that out there.
I
would
agree.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate.
Based on that, I would move that the committee approve the recommendation made by Council Underhill and just have the letter sent.
And is this Judge Kane?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. So we have a motion to accept our attorney, Michael Underhill's recommendation for this one case. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Judge Nelson. By roll call vote to accept the legal report as presented, Judge Brody Kane,
Aye.
Judge Teresa Nelson,
Aye.
Judge Joel Perry,
Aye.
and Judge Jason Hudson.
Aye.
Thank you, Mike. Great job. Before we proceed to any new business the council has, I missed one item regarding our appointment of elected officers. I have a motion made by Judge Perry to appoint as chair Judge Kane and Judge Nelson as vice chair. I need a second on that, which really only leaves us, I believe, Judge Hudson, but I want to make
Yeah.
sure that, is that correct?
I do. I'll second that.
Thank you. That takes care of my record, so I'm not missing anything. Judges, that pretty much covers most of our agenda. We're open for new business. Any questions you have or for Michael or myself, I welcome. And then I've got some follow-up items I will be emailing you.
I just want to say it was enjoyable meeting the 3 new members, and I hope to see you again here in a couple of months. Thank you, Roxanne.
Thank you so much, Judge Kane. Thank you again for being on the council one more time. Really appreciate everybody. If there are no other questions or items to cover, I would need a motion for us to adjourn, and it is 10:28.
So
I'll
moved.
make a motion.
Thank you. I have Judge Perry as a motion and Judge Nelson, but I think it was pretty unanimous. I'm going to go ahead and for the adjourning, we don't necessarily need the roll call vote. If anybody has any other questions, we can do that. If not, thank you all. I look forward to our meeting in February, and our meeting is concluded.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye-bye.
Wish the Wells luck this weekend.
Yes.